All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Heck, Goose, and Georgie.
What's going on?
Jack of all trades. In this episode, we have George Berdomas. We cover topics that range from multitasking, importance of focus, embracing, recognizing opportunity, raw hustle, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Chris Grosser and Thomas Jefferson. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, George.
How we doing?
Fantastic, dude. Thank you for joining us. Guys, I wish you could. This was recorded on some level because George's smiles from ear to ear over here.
Busy as a bee today, say that much.
Very excited. Awesome. No, we do appreciate you joining us. I know every time we have a guest on, it really is something to commend because I know everyone is so busy. It's not that easy to kind of let loose for an hour or so out of your schedule, but we are appreciative and we're grateful, for your attendance. Thank you.
Absolutely. Much appreciated for having me.
For sure. All right, so let's jump right into it.
Let's dive into the deep end.
George.
Yes.
For those of us who do not know who you are and what you do, let us know.
Let's see what I don't do. So I definitely am not an actor, I'll tell you that much. So basically, I work for the state of New Jersey for Department of Environmental Protection for human resource recruitment. So basically, I'm like almost, not like a headhunter, but, definitely help people with employment and job opportunities. Anybody in college or anything like that, coming on board. I do all the onboarding. I'm the front of the line. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So you meet a lot of new people. One of the biggest things is I'm really big on diversity, not just from an HR perspective, but everything in life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, everybody that comes in culturally, backgrounds and thought processes and everything, everybody's different. Yeah. And it's cool because you cater to different needs and expectations. Yeah. So that's that part of the job. My second job, something I really love, and I just started about a year and a half ago, is becoming a real estate agent. Yeah. So, I love it. It's, every day it's a thriving day. Just like I said, jack of all trades, you're constantly nonstop.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
The party never stops. Literally just coming in before here, always talking nonstop. So, and then I marry people. So, I mean, it's a funny gig, but at the same time, it's something that I truly love, and it's something that I definitely take pride in as well. So, and then other than that, between hobbies, I'm big on music. That's between family, friends. Music is definitely my outlet. Yeah. So, everybody's got their problems. I'm just like anybody else. I mean, I'm a very positive person, but I got my own internal things and struggles. I got OCD, ADD, anxiety out the wazoo. So I mean, but I handle it as best as I can, just like anybody every day in life. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, I enjoy it. And the biggest thing in life that I always advocate for is small business, just like we're here now.
Exactly.
Between the barbershop, you guys, now with my, business on my own with real estate, I work for a small company, about to switch to another small company as well, so I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, we definitely appreciate that too, because, Georgie walks in, he's shushing us because he's on the phone. But we accepted it because he was wearing his blessed tee.
Very abrasive I was. No, just kidding.
We definitely appreciate that. So
Absolutely.
Obviously the podcast is supported by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That's BL3SSED.com. So we appreciate you showing the love and support.
Absolutely.
It was actually one day we had a pop-up shop here at Miguel's Riverside Barbershop in Bristol, and Georgie had an appointment with my brother, which you all should do. Download the app.
Absolutely.
Super convenient. You come in at the time that fits you, especially for someone who's a jack of all trades. Right?
Miguel does everything for me. I mean, from head to toe. Makes me look my best, even though I might be 270 pounds with a dad bod minus the kids. Yeah. I still try to look best as I can. Everybody comments on how you get your hair done and everything, and I always tell it's my man Miguel down here. It's big. Small business is everything to me.
Absolutely.
My dad's a big small business guy, has his own landscaping business, so that to me transitioned in my future. So, but yeah, barbershop definitely is a go-to here.
Yeah, for sure.
Always.
Some people barbershop. I think. How old were you when the first time I ever cut your hair?
Well, first of all, I was 170 pounds wet in a t-shirt. So
he's just dad bod. I like to say father figure.
So I definitely was probably about 15, 16.
Yeah, teens,
Yeah, I came in there rolling up, and and someone said Goose, and I'm like,
BMX.
who the heck is Goose?
Yeah,
I'm like,
his dad used to go to to my old boss, Steve, and then you just jump in my chair.
That's awesome.
I jumped right in his chair, and next thing you know, it clicked right away, and he knew what I wanted. And, I was going on forever, and I didn't realize he took appointments until after 6 o'clock, and I started going somewhere for a quick second. I'm like, I can't do this. And he told me, I take appointments after 6 o'clock. So I'm like, I'm coming right back in a second.
That's for, like, preferred special customers like you. I've been cutting you up for a couple of years.
It's the respect.
Yeah.
I think, for him and me, I respect his craft, and it's truly an art. Everybody's got an art. Everybody's got a niche in what they want to do, and what he does and everything it's truly amazing. And it's something that I appreciate every day. I try to support anybody's small business that I love, and somebody who advocates for me as well. I mean, between real estate and this, he always tries to get my name out there, and puts my name everywhere. So I mean, I do the same support as back with anybody else.
Absolutely. So
it's always a love.
Absolutely.
So it's always like a brotherhood.
Absolutely.
So absolutely.
Hell yeah. All right. So jack of all trades here. If someone were to call you that, what would your response be?
I was thinking about this earlier. So, I mean, the biggest thing, the jack of all trades, I think of it as, they see it as a go-getter for me because people see my hustle. I'm not a cocky person. I'm very modest. I like to show my results, but for me, people always go, ever since I started at Wendy's, 14 years old, finding how work is, making $5.25 an hour, and then transitioning into a pizza place. Working 3 jobs at 16 is when I really started to figure it out. So, I mean, I worked at a pizza place, a golf store, and Julio's Pizzeria. I was there for 12 years, and it was a great place to work for. Wow. And then definitely fireworks.
They just gave you fireworks for that.
Yeah, so they're like, wow, 12 years.
Very appreciative.
So, I mean, great food and everything like that, and it was a great business and great relationships that I made there. But, overall, I had to, I was ready, it all. Long story, just went into a different place, and I had to go to try a different career.
Sure.
So I went into the real estate, and it changed my life every way.
Wow.
So it's awesome. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it also goes to, knowing a little bit about a lot, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very useful, right?
Absolutely.
It's almost like they call it the Swiss Army knife. You can pull it out whenever you need to.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Not to be so reliant on other people, but figuring it out yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're gonna get scraped. You're gonna scrape your knees here and there.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the prettiest sight, but at the end of the day, you figured it out.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to say about that, right?
Absolutely. It's the biggest thing for me. I didn't really overcome like too much adversity, I guess you can say, in life. I grew up from my family's awesome. I mean, my mom and dad are my rocks. Yeah. Especially my mom. I mean, she supports everything for me. Yeah. And anything that I could do now to help her to give back, it pays off. And she's been my number one supporter in everything I do. She's like, I don't care what you do, just be happy. So I transition that mindset into everyday life because no matter what you do and what you love, you have to find a center of gravity what you're internally feeling, because you have to love what you do every day. Every day might not be peaches and cream. Sure. Before coming here, I was working on deals and stuff, but you take a step back and you really realize where you got to. And my parents and my dad, grounded me through the schooling aspect. So, I still remember in 4th grade failing in music, thing that I love the most now. An F in music. So now, and he's like, if you ever get an F again, it's good. You're gonna have hell to pay. So I'm like, all right, great. So after 5th grade, I just, turned it up in my grades, and him grounded me in that aspect, and my mindset and attitude definitely transitioned to high school, having good grades there, and then going after high school to have an associate's degree. And then when I worked at my full-time job, I had to find somewhere else to go. So, I mean, I was at a low-end customer service title. Yeah. So what I did was essentially I went back to school while working at Julio's, and also my full-time job, working at night every day, to finish my bachelor's degree. I finished a 2-year program in 7 months. Wow. So it cost me a fraction of the price to go there. So
that is awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, that transitioning helps me get to where I am today. That's another part. So, I mean, it really is hustling nonstop. Yeah. So it's always good. Yeah.
So I know. Me and you had a conversation, and one of your favorite songs and lines that Jay-Z says, "Can't knock the hustle," right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what is your take on being, a hustler?
So it's funny. I actually was just listening to the song earlier today and a little bit yesterday because I haven't heard it in forever. But it's actually lyrically nothing with the song. It's just, I love the song, the melody, but it's just that front of the head line. Because a lot of people, they tend to be envious of others because of their successes, you know. Yeah. But for me, I'm very grateful for everybody. You know, you do your thing. And for me, you know, every day I love the grind. I'm grinding every day because I, you know, financially want to be better for myself. Yeah. But I also grow as an individual, you know, wanting to make sure, you know, to strive for more goals. And, you know, and best thing I do is, you know, customer service is everything to me. I've been doing it for 15 years. So customer service helps, you know, between, you know, Miguel's shop doing customer service, it's all about, you know, for the person, for the client. You might not personally like it yourself, but you have to take your own personal pride out of it. You know, you do your pride of the work itself, but if they want to get a haircut with a mohawk with a green, you know, whatever color, it don't matter. You know, you're there for them and they're going to be happy. It's just like in real estate. You know, I might not like the house myself, but I don't care. I'm there for my client, and, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to process that as fast as I can and get it done for you. And it's someone, and you have to trust each other, you know. Hustle is also trust because, you know, as you're hustling, you're gaining, you know, knowledge and whatever expertise you're in. But, you know, the people you meet along the way, you want to be able to trust them. So you build that relationship and that internal ground, and it grows your business. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I literally started real estate April of 2018. I didn't have my first sale till about, I think, November. No, it was like September, October. And from there, I hit the ground running. Like, I was hustling those first 4 months. I didn't have anybody to work with. I was working nonstop. And once I started really getting my name out there and just every day, you know, just blasting, you know, texts, emails, I got to $4 million within the first year of real estate, a little over a year. So, I mean, it not only, you know, financially changed me, but as a person, professionally and personally, you know, dealing with lawyers, attorneys, real estate agents, there's 15 people in a transaction at least. That's 15 different mindsets. So everybody's hustle is different in that aspect too. You know, I'm an ADD person. I want it done yesterday. Right. But everybody else could be slow as molasses, and I'm sitting there, I can't control it. My client could be mad. But at the end of the day, I mean, you hustle as fast as you can, you know, and you try to help transition that to everyone else. But everyone, you know, they have their own drive. You know, you can't change their drive or mindset. That's all in their self.
Absolutely. And I think everyone, that's a great point to make when you talk about pace, right? So, like, everyone can have a hustle, right? But you could be faster than me, or Goose could be faster than heck. It doesn't matter. It's like, the hustle is not about the speed, right? It's whatever works for that person. The ticket is not stopping. I think that's the ticket, is constantly going after your dreams, your goals, persistently and consistently. And when someone were to ask you what you're doing, there's no doubt in your mind or your response. Right. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you want. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. There's one thing in me in life is, like, I'm pretty set in my ways. I think I got that from my dad. You know, because he's, you know, he knows what he wants and he gets it. So, you know, I know what I want in life is to just get better every day. So, I mean, having him and that mindset behind me always be like, you know, you can do what you got to do, and, you know, you're your own destiny pretty much. So, I mean, between him and my mom, just, you know, they're always behind my back, you know, making sure that everything's taken care of. You know, I grew up, they didn't really have to be over top of me or micromanage me. I just let and did my own thing. So, you know, that's, I think the best thing as a parent skill is that they didn't have to badge me every second, where you going, because, you know, I was self-sufficient. They made me grow self-sufficient. You know, I don't drive a fancy car now. I have a 98 Civic, you know. You know, ever since I got my first car, my mom gave it to me. And I blew it up within a year because I wanted a stick shift. I did it pretty much on purpose. And after that, I really learned the value of a dollar. And I had to buy my own car and again, hustle. And I had to get a couple more jobs and everything like that. But, you know, once I started to see the value of a dollar, I really took it, you know, seriously. All my friends when I was younger, they're like, "Oh, you work so much, you know, why don't you party?" I had my party days like anybody else, but I worked to save to get to where I want to be today and grow. And now this is definitely the best time I've ever, you know, felt, not only like just all the career goals that are growing, and it's just, it's a good feeling, you know, and being invited on the show, you know, to talk about where you came from. And it shows that, you know, people respect what I do, and they really want to learn how I got to where I am. You know,
Exactly.
like I said, I got a little house. I don't got a big fancy house. My old car, it runs Old Faithful. So she's good. Charlize is her name. You know, I figure that's the closest. That's the closest I'll ever get to Charlize Theron. So I mean, you know, so that's the car's name pretty much.
So where do you think that drive came from? Was it when you blew up your first car and you're like, holy smokes, I need multiple jobs to get where I need to go? Or you think that was something that was instilled in you at an earlier age?
I think it was definitely instilled at an earlier age, because I saw my first paycheck at Wendy's and I was like, this is like $20 like for 50 hours. Like at the time I'm like, yeah, this isn't bad. And then when I worked at the pizza place, you know, I was a dishwasher. I saw cash and I started working, you know, more and more. You know, it was great. And but you know, then I started delivering pizzas and tips, you know, cash and everything like that. And then, you know, I just saw money, and I don't say money's the most important thing, but it's definitely something that's going to help us ground to where we need to be in the future. I definitely early on in my life, I worried about money so much, to the point where I was like, you know, working every second I could to save money. But, you know, I still enjoyed, you know, my life awesome just as I am today. But now financially, like I'm not as worried, and now like I'm able to help my family. Like it's the best, you know, between me helping myself and anybody in my family I can help, and just, you know, be like, here you go. Like my mom, she pretty much, she was one day, she's like, I'm tired, I'm not feeling good. And next thing you know, the next day I just got her floors for her whole house, because I was like, it uplifted her so greatly. And I was like, that to me pays for everything. Like that's what I want in life, you know, and being able to give back. And that's, I think, a big thing with, you know, Bless itself is literally it's faith, hard work, gratitude. You know, you don't expect to be given anything in return. You want to give it out. You know, everything comes to you in the end. You know?
Exactly.
And, you know, if you have a positive mindset in life, you really will get somewhere. I got to where I want to be today, and I'm just going to keep growing. You know, and that's all I want to do. Pretty
that's
much.
awesome. All right, so let's switch things up, right?
Go for it.
All right, so you currently have 3 jobs. How did the idea of becoming an ordained minister come about? Because that's like one of my favorites, because I, too, am an ordained minister, right?
So
how'd that come about from you? So for me, really quick, for my story was we had a friend who wanted to get married and just could not figure out how this was going to happen. And they figured that there was this other option, that someone who was an ordained minister could make it happen for them. And so they are like, you're perfect for this. Can you do it, or would you want to do it? I'm like, sure. And they're like, all right, well, you know, let's take these steps, and we made it happen.
Go for it.
And so after that, I did multiple weddings and stuff like that. But how did you become? Because a lot of people are almost like, oh my God, I cannot wait to grow up and be an ordained minister.
I know people are like, why would you do this? I mean, this is exactly the thought process. So my cousin was getting married a few years ago, and my uncle flew in from out in California, and he owns his own church. He's a pastor, like a legit pastor. And as he was up there and projecting himself, and for my cousin's wedding, how he like worked the crowd, and he was making people laugh. It just clicked right away, and I'm like, I just snapped a finger, and I'm like, I gotta try it. I gotta see what I can do, you know. So the first couple I married in Washington Crossing State Park in my shorts and T-shirt, you know. But, you know, after that, you know, I started taking it really serious. So I made it into a full-on business where I give people their ceremony samples, the whole ceremony. They can choose religious, non-religious, anything they want. And for me, that's important, because I'm probably one of the most open people I've ever even met myself, because not only from an HR perspective, just in life, you know, everybody comes from different walk of life, and I love learning different cultures, experiences, everything like that. So once I started getting the marriage stuff going, I then started making a Facebook page, just like I do with my real estate page. And it's George Berdomas, minister, ordained minister. So I started blasting on Facebook. Next thing you know, Facebook messages. Yo, can you marry me? Can you marry me? I said, sure. I started realizing that you know, I can, you know, not overly charge people, but I was asking people, how much does it cost to get, you know, a wedding officiate? They're like $500. I'm like, $500? I'll do it for like $300. You know, that's fine. Like, and you know, and I meet with the couple, I am engaged with the couple, I talk to them on the phone, everything like that. And, the most important thing is communication.
Yeah.
I didn't really get to stress that earlier. Any of the jobs that I do, communication, trust and communication are my number 1 and 2 things, because you have to communicate to your clients and anybody in any business. I mean, Miguel tells for herself. Like, if I'm like, hey, I can't make this appointment, can you fit me in the next day? And next thing you know, my man fits me in, within that day. And that to me shows, how much people really do take pride in their jobs. Yeah. So to me, I mean, I always will go the extra mile for anyone as well. So, I've done a Roman Catholic and Jewish wedding put together, because both families are 2 different, cultures or just religions. I'm very, I was raised Catholic, but I'm a believer in God, but I'm not like, I don't go to church every day or anything like that. Sure. So, I think for the most part, once I started getting going with the ministry stuff, it really picked up. I mean, I did about 10 or 12 weddings this year. Wow. So in a transition, it also is a great networking for myself for real estate. So,
well, now that I married you, you're looking for a house.
So the crazy thing is the incentive that I give to people, and I've done it for one couple. Shout out to Joey and Kaylee. We were looking for a house for them, and pretty much I was there. There was a recommendation they gave me as a referral to them. So I met with them, going over the wedding stuff, and they're like, "Well, we want to buy a house." And I'm like, "All right." I just started real estate, and I got them under contract for a house the same day that I married them. So, so I was like, you know what? It's a cool incentive. I'm not going to charge them for their wedding because, they're buying a house from me. And, I'm not here to gut anybody. So it's an incentive. You buy a house from me,
That's
I don't
fantastic.
charge you for the wedding.
That is so awesome.
So it's a big thing for me because, at the end of the day, it's them being happy. But it also turns into them being like, you know what? You're a great person. I'm going to refer you to it's all about referrals and everything. I don't bank on it, but, a lot of my business does come from referrals and everything because, people trust me and they want me to get the job done. And all my jobs are rewarding. I can't complain.
So my dude, I think it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And I've done it, and the way you're doing it is absolutely fantastic.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I started getting freaked out for myself. So I did a handful. I did about 5 or 6 total. Yeah. And then they're all for like close friends or whatever. But I started like overthinking it and freaked myself out.
I did.
So I was like, what happens if something happens to me?
Right.
This person has been planning maybe the female possibly their whole lives for this. And here I am. What if something were to happen to me on their wedding day? No one shows up. What do I do? So that thought, regardless of how many people I talk myself out of that, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm thinking like this. Who would say something? It still ate at the back of my mind. And
See, I live for that.
Yeah.
I love the thrill of like not knowing, what every day is going to bring me. So but I tell them, they always ask, do you want a deposit from? I said, nope. I don't know what's going to happen on your wedding day. I don't want any money until everything's completed. Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy, but that's with the wedding stuff. I think I've done about 25 to 30 weddings within a couple years. So, I mean, it's just growing. I've already got like 5 or 6 books for next year. So, I mean, it's just like, it just keeps cycling.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So how did you get the idea of becoming a realtor come about?
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I was like, what? I bust my hump every day. I'm like, I want to buy a house. Like, I just want to buy a house. So my real estate agent, I called him up and I said, I want to start looking at houses. So I went to 5 houses, and at the time, I didn't want to spend more than $1,100 a month. And my house I'm paying now is $1,320 a month. But I'm like, you know what? I don't care about the extra money. I got the house I wanted. Yeah, I'm happy. So the first day I saw my house, I just fell in love with it. I was like, and a couple came through right after me. I said to my agent, I said, you're getting me this house. Yeah. Don't care what you got to do. You're getting the house for me. We are going to go under contract. I'm getting first sale of the house. It's great. I get the house I want. And then I was in a relationship at the time, and, at the end of once August hit, I was renovating my house before moving in. I split up with my ex-girlfriend, and, I just wanted to focus within myself. You know, I wasn't happy with the relationship or just any part of the situation because I just wanted so much for myself. Yeah. And I wanted to grow as a person. And I was like, you know what? Everybody kept telling me after I bought my house, I thought of it. I'm like, I asked my real estate agent. I'm like, how do I become an agent?
Yeah.
Like, how do I do it? He goes, I'm like, is it hard? And he goes, no, it's not bad at all. I'm like, all right, tell me what to do. I went to schooling, and I tell people, tests are crap to me because, it is about your hustle, because it took me 4 times to pass my exam. Yeah. It wasn't like I passed it in flying colors. It took me 4 times. I got really discouraged, and after the 4th time I passed, I literally was in tears, because I was like, this is now going to change my life. I felt it. I felt like that I'm going to be a real estate agent. I'm going to be, there for everyone. And next thing you know, I'm starting to get calls right away. I got my first listing. Unfortunately, it didn't go through, but it just started picking up. And after I became a real estate agent, I'm like, I love this. I live for. And I saw my first paycheck, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely in. This is it. Because I'm able to now renovate my house, help my family, everything like that. And now transitioning with real estate, the communications through email is easier for my full-time job, because that's all I do is email all day and talk on the phone. I was like, I can do this in real estate. It's not that bad. Yeah. So transition-wise, it was not hard. But a lot of people, new agents, go to schooling once they get their license. So what I did, I just went right into the fire. I had my first contract, and I remember the agent I was working with. Shout out to Lisa Longbach. She's awesome. So I tried to do an inspection reply, and I didn't even know what it was. So and she's like, "Well, do you know what that is?" I'm like, "No." And from that point forward, I was just every day learning something new in the business. Yeah. And now I've grown, to make a business. It's I thought about it. I'm really, I pay my taxes at the end like anybody else, but it's a small business essentially. So that mindset was really easy to me for transition, because that's all my life is supporting small businesses. And, corporations are great and all, but the small businesses and the revolution is exactly what's going to make everybody thrive and everybody in the city. Bristol right itself is growing. Yeah. So, real estate, it's very rewarding. There are downfalls to it where you're always on your phone nonstop. So, you saw it when I was coming in.
You shushed us.
I still feel horrible for that.
You guys remember, if anyone remembers the show The Wayans Brothers?
Yes. Yeah.
And the dad, in real life, he just passed away, so rest in peace. But if you don't remember, he always went he did the with his finger going all crazy. Look him up; it's hilarious.
I was just with my ear, just from my phone, the little AirPods, because I'm tired of keeping my phone up to my ear. I'm just I'm on the phone, giving you the phone, I guess, lingo. So, but that's how my life is. I'm always on my phone. It is a sacrifice, but I thought of it. Everybody's on their phone every day, so why not just make money with it, but also help people? I'm literally, people before 10 minutes are stressing about, looking for a house. I said, listen, I'm the roller coaster that's going to, the safety bar, it's going to help you through it. I'm a safety bar. I'm literally am. They can hold on to me because I'm going to get them through it. It's going to be a roller coaster. Because if any real estate agent tells you it's a smooth ride, and I don't know what they're talking about, because no real estate transaction, there's never a smooth, there's always inspection issues or anything like that. Sure. So when I just tell blunt and honest up front, it's a hard business, and but it's a roller coaster, and I'm going to get you through it. So a lot of the clients that I meet are from open houses. I do 1 to 2 open houses every weekend, because I love to meet new people. Like I said, I just met you guys tonight. So, it feels like you connect with people already. Yeah. I'm all about vibes. If you don't vibe with someone, I'm out. I'm out. It's take it or leave it. So, once I, bring people in for their open house, they're coming through my door. They already get weary because they think the agent's going to hound them, force them sign in. I literally tell them, listen, hey, if you want to sign in, if you don't, I really don't care, Yeah. And they start to get thrown back because they realize that pretty much, essentially, they're like, wow, this is someone who's not going to pressure me, because it's not my full-time job. I'm not depending on a commission check. I'm doing this because I truly love to help people. Yeah. I've done it to where, people have seen a house and they, we have to terminate a contract. I don't care. I want them to get the house they want. If we have to see 50,000 damn houses, I'll do it. I've been there. I've seen 50 houses with clients. I've seen one. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's for what they want, and I take pride in everything I do, and real estate's definitely changed it for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So is there a balance there, right? So on how many clients you can take on, especially that you have a full-time job. Yep. So if there is a client who is severely picky in their. Could that consume a lot of your time versus taking 10 clients versus taking just 2 because this one person is?
Well, believe it or not, what's cool about my full-time job is that real estate doesn't impact my full-time job during the day.
Yeah.
It always happens after I get done work, because I'm showing houses, everything like that. That's the best part about my full-time job. I love my state job. It's a cool job. I work with great people, all of my boss and it's like a little family. And I've met a lot of networking and relationships and connections with people within the department that see my work. And, they really appreciate what I do. And I think it's one of the best feelings in the world where they really respect me.
Yeah.
So, pretty much it's just awesome. I mean, everything about it, between each one of these jobs is great. Yeah.
So explain a little bit about your HR job, right?
Yeah.
How did that come about, and how did you incorporate it into the mix and for it to become your main source of income?
Absolutely. So I applied for a position, and at the time it's $26,000 a year, 6 years ago, and before taxes. That's like, I could barely afford like a Levittown bedroom, seriously. And I was living with my mom at the time, so I started working next to a director in HR. I just applied for any state job because I wanted to, not only the health benefits aspect, I wanted to try the office life. I was an electrician, not an electrician, but I worked for my uncle in an electrical company before that in construction. One of the hardest jobs I ever had.
Yeah.
It's not that, and pharmacy I've worked in before are the 2 most stressful jobs I've ever had.
Yeah.
So, once I transferred to the office, I'm working fast. Like, you can take your time. I'm like, there's no slowing down for me.
I
can't slow down. It's just not in my blood.
Right.
So what happened was, 2 years into it, and like I was saying before, I went back, got my bachelor's degree. I applied for a job at the Division of State Police, and I got that job, and within 11 months, I was there. I loved it. Had a great schedule and everything. I took a leap. I took a job that required your bachelor's degree. I was like, I need to utilize this job. I didn't utilize the degree. And my boss now, she took me and recruited me for this job, and it's seriously changed my life in that aspect because, she, in turn, she trusts me. And everything she doesn't have to micromanage me or anything like that, and that's the most important thing for me as a person is I don't want my boss being up my butt pretty much. So her letting me just do my thing has helped me grow so much as an individual, for professional, for HR. So I just do recruitment. I've done I'm trying to think, also leave management, payroll. I've done it all. So it's another jack of all trades within the HR. So it's like I'm learning that too. So, but now with the recruitment side, I love it because I'm bringing all these college kids on board, and I'm the first face that they see. So, I'm that positive vibe that they want to see doing their onboarding. Giving that, energy off to them, spreading it, they feel good when they're walking out. They're not like stressed, like, here's your paperwork, this is it. I'm like, here, this is what you need. You got any questions, you call me. Like I said, it's always every client that I work with, or any, buddy in the state, I tell them my phone doesn't shut off or my email doesn't shut off. So if you need something, if I'm on vacation, I'll do it. I've been on vacation before where I found that one of my clients owed $6,000 the day right after I found out, while I'm 3 hours behind, out in the middle and west in Canada. So I had to do what I had to do, and they took care of what they needed to. But it's that stress level that you have to handle as a person. So, people think real estate is, but HR job, my full-time job's great. It has its stressors a little bit, but it's really not stressful to me. It's not bad. I work 4 days a week. It's great. But real estate's where you get the stress because I love the stress, believe it or not, because once you get those results, it's so rewarding. One of my clients I just got, there was a stucco side inspection nightmare, and I requested $20,000. And next thing you know, we're battling back and forth, and I send a termination, and the next thing you know, he goes, you know what, we'll give you the money. And my clients felt so blessed. They really did. So my client actually said a serenity prayer before I sent the contract over to request all this stuff, and it really truly worked. Faith really did work for this, and it felt so good, to have that behind, and I just thought it was really cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So where do you think you get the positive outlook on things, right? So every day, provides us something different, and I truly do think it's the way we internalize it, the way we accept it, the way we interpret it. Sitting in traffic is a perfect example. You'll see some guy banging his forehead on his steering wheel while some other person is singing to whatever song is, and we're all in the same situation. What do you think about attitude that helps make a difference?
Well, you said, where did I get it from? It's my mother. My mother is the most bubbly person that I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
She's goofy. She's fun. She's driven. Her job that she's at now is very high demand. She works for, director and comptroller. So she's in the fire every day. So, I mean, seeing that, I was like, I got that from her, being able to, work, engage with people and everything. And my father, I got the financial aspect. My dad is amazing with money. So, I mean, he taught me all about the financial aspect of what I should do and everything. So that transition was great for me. But my mother mainly she's my backbone. She's literally like every day support, like she's there for me. And it's the coolest feeling, and she even said it before I got on the podcast. She goes, I try to give you as much as I can. I've always feel like, I give more. Mom, you did everything you did and beyond. What I mean? Like parents, sometimes feel like they have to give you the world. Like they have to give you cars, they have to give you this, they give you that. My parents gave me, support. Yeah. That's what you need to do as a parent. Yeah. I have no kids that at least I know of. So right. But it's the fact of, having that support from your parents is going to help you grow as an individual. Yeah. Because a lot of parents that I see are very close-minded and they want their kids to be engineers, they want them to be scientists. If your kid wants to be a ballet dancer, let them be a ballet dancer. You know. I tell my mom, she goes, she's like, you can do anything you want. You know what I mean? And I was like, you're right. And I'm an agent, I'm a minister, and I'm an HR rep. Like stuff at almost 30 years old, never thought I would even think of to do. And I thought I'd be sitting in an office all day, and then I start seeing stuff. My philosophy is if I see something I like, I go for it. Girls, it doesn't work as so much. It doesn't really because I get the nerves, or they sometimes are out of my league, but I still try. But I always tell people, you better go down swinging. It's better than looking. So
absolutely.
It's all good.
So what's your take on managing a hectic lifestyle?
Yeah, so it is a pretty hectic lifestyle, but it's my phone. I mean, I use my calendar pretty solidly. It's basically, I emails. I just keep track of a lot of it in my head, believe it or not, and I write down on sticky notes. Sticky notes are very important. But believe it or not, I can manage my schedule through all the apps for my showings and apps and everything. So it's mainly just on my phone, calendar.
Organization.
You have if you're not organized in these jobs, you'll never succeed.
And communication,
trust, organization, and the positive attitude, like we've always been saying, and just being able to give that pretty much energy to everybody else. Everybody deserves positive energy. I'm a very positive person. Like I said before, I have my own demons, just like anybody else, between my anxiety, OCD, and just ADD. But I don't project that on anybody else. I keep that internally. When I get home, it's when it triggers a lot. But that's actually why I work a lot too, because it keeps me calm. Having bouncing around and playing music again is my outlet, and it's literally changed. It's helped me so much. Yeah. So I mean, it's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So as for what you have done thus far, what has been your best / most memorable experience?
Oh man.
Was it buying the house?
Oh, man.
Graduating.
Limited down to one. Woo.
One of. I'm sure there's probably a handful of them.
I would say buying the house. I knew I was going to want to get my degree, and that's changed my life and my job expectation and everything. But signing that paperwork to get those keys was probably one of the coolest feelings, because after settlement, I was able to go right to my house, and I could do anything I want. I started taking down quarter round right away to start hacking at my house, because I was like, it's mine. Like, it's something that I finally got. Like, when I was younger, like 16, all I wanted was like Subaru STI and Evos and these fancy cars. I was like, yeah, you don't need a house. I don't really care, Yeah. And I laugh from that, because I'm like, I don't even care about cars, I care about houses, and you need a living dwelling to survive. You can't. think a tent's going to really be sufficient. So, I mean, having a house and coming home to something that I own and that I take pride in is definitely the biggest accomplishment so far.
And it's cool, I think, for being a realtor too, right? So when you have new home buyers, you know what that feeling awaits them.
And that's what's cool.
That excitement.
It's amazing. And I think that's the other reason why I wanted to really get into it, because I love to help people. That's all I love to do. I actually went to school for nursing for a little bit. And then the microbios and anatomies just didn't flow with me. I was horrible at them. I could barely even tell you what the damn elbow stands for. So, but being able to, pretty much, I always tell every client I work with, I've been there. I know what the stress is like, but having me there with you is going to make it easier. And at the end of the day, when they sign those papers, and then they also tell me, like, I've put in offers, the past weekend, they're like, I trust you. Whatever you have to do to get I trust you. Like, hearing those words is not only rewarding, it's also frightening, because they just met you a day ago. I've done it to where I met someone at an open house, and I said, you can call me whenever you need me. She goes, and then the next day she goes, I want to put an offer on a house. And literally she goes, I trust you. Like, she basically is saying to me, I trust you to get it done. I just met you yesterday. And I'm like, wow, all right. So we put the offer in and we got it, but of course we backed out. It wasn't a good inspection, but just that initial personal connection can really set something off. Because perfect example is I was at a wedding that didn't perform. Went to a wedding, actually. I get off the clock sometimes. I met a professor, at the bar, just ran into him by accident. And next thing you know, I'm selling his house in South Philly. I'm getting the buyer and the seller at the same time. And one little conversation literally transferred into a transaction and helping. And then I also spoke at St. Joe's University to all these kids, to tell them how I got to where I was, exactly what I'm doing today. It's literally the coolest feeling when, you guys reach out or anybody asks me, like, I want to hear your story. Yeah. It makes you feel like, not like a celebrity, but it just makes you feel good that people really do respect what you do. Like I said, I'm very humble of what I do. I'm not a boisterous person. I just like to show the results because I like to shock people. Yeah. And more or less, I just like to do the job, and then I'll be like, well, see, I told you I'd get it done right, but I'm not going to, I'm confident in what I do. So, if I don't know something, I can go to someone else for sure.
I think it's very important too, when you're doing so much and you work so much, to have that balance. And I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about your hobby, but before you get into that, you keep it kind of lighthearted, right?
Absolutely.
Recently, my brother Miguel showed me a video of you screaming at the top of your lungs that Santa was coming down your street and that you knew him. Yeah. But it was fun. It was a super fun thing to watch, and it's like, this is the mentality like everyone needs to have. Be a kid again.
Yeah.
Seriously, because we're so serious about everything. I just got this car, or I just paid this car off. Now I'm going to get another car. And it's like you're crunching numbers, and everything gets so twisted and so serious in our minds. You're like, oh my God, we're supposed to enjoy this process. Right. And we're like kind of ruining it in our minds, being so stressed out. I felt like I got stressed out hearing a conversation like that. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hope he finds it. I hope he gets what he wants. And it's like, it wasn't even me.
I'm with you, because I love posting Instagram stories of either me cooking or the Santa thing, because I like saying stuff that's going to trigger people to make them laugh. Like Santa, I know him, it's from Elf. So absolutely. People are like, oh my God, he just literally said that. And there's kids outside next to me, and I'm like, giving the horns, like, Santa, I love you. Yeah, like I'm sitting there screaming nuts, but I'm like, you know what? I just don't care, because I just don't care what people think anymore. I was, when I was younger, I didn't get bullied on when I was in like middle school or something, but I was always a nerd, And then in high school, I was a noodle, and I'm still a noodle to this day. I'm a goober, and it's you take it or leave with me, and I got to where I am, and people were like, wow, I can't believe you. It's awesome, like, just how successful you've been, I'm like, but it doesn't come easy, like we said before, like, you can't knock the hustle, because people get envious of people saying, oh, he's got all this stuff. Yeah, because I worked my buns off to get to where I need to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like I said, I don't have a fancy car. I just got a simple house. I love to travel. I love to eat. Obviously, 270 pounds. I mean, you gotta be something. So I mean, I just went to my nutritionist, and she goes, or a doctor, and she goes, you should definitely go to a nutritionist. And I'm like, all right, I got the paper, and I felt good for a second, and I literally ordered a pizza like 2 hours later. I'm like, I want to go back to the gym and stuff, but I work so much, and that's a lifestyle in itself, you know. And I don't knock anybody who goes to the gym. I definitely want to eat better down the road, but I love food, and I have accepted, you know, that the dad bod minus the children people is something that, you know, I embrace. And you got to be comfortable within yourself. A lot of people aren't, you know. Yeah. I rock no shirt on going to the beach because I just don't care what people think. You know, having that positive mentality and energy, just spreading that out to people is what I want to give to people. Yeah. You know?
And I think that leans into your work too, right? Yeah. So if you're a very insecure person about every little detail in your life, people are they're gonna smell that on you if you're the realtor, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
They're like, oh my God, this person's not even sure about themselves. How are they gonna be secure about the biggest transaction in my life?
And I love that just whole entire thrill of being the biggest part of not only their marriage, but their house. I don't do divorces either, but you know,
not yet.
Not yet. So I'll be a one-stop shop at that point. So being able to hold on to them and make them, you know, feel amazing when they get the house that they want is awesome. And, you know, like I said, embracing that and just, you know, holding that down is the best. It's the best stress/thrill/rewarding thing I've done in my life is getting someone a house and then being like, thank you, George. You really you're the best. And that you're the best is like literally, that's all I don't care about the money at that point because I'm just like, it makes me feel good that I've done my job and everything. It's so cool.
So what do you think about when opportunity arises, right? Mm-hmm. So you had a slew of jobs, right, in your lifetime. When opportunity arises, what's to be said for someone who takes advantage of it?
I literally tell you what just happened 2 hours ago. I've been working with my real estate company now at Solomon Realty for about a year and a half. So I love my place. I love it. But, you know, I was presented an opportunity for another company, and I, you know, thought about it, and I'm taking a leap of faith. I'm literally going to another company, hopefully next week or two, trying something completely different because I want more. I just want more. I want to keep going. If you see an opportunity arise and you're scared, you're allowed to be scared. Like, it's not normal to be scared because it's a jump. It's something that you're not comfortable with. You know what I mean? If you're comfortable where you're at, a lot of people do. But, you know, if you don't take that leap of faith in it, whether you mess up or not, you know, at least you try. It's like I said, literally, if you talk to a girl, if I see her at the bar and I'm like, she's beautiful, if I don't go and talk to her, something could have happened. But, you know, I go and talk to any girl that I like, you know. So that transitions just in the personal life in general. Like, any opportunity that rises, it literally, you go for it. Like, don't even think about it. Like, if you think about it too much, you overthink it. But, you know, if you feel good about trying something new, you just do it. I mean, that's literally, it's just do it. Like Nike, just do it. So, and just send it, you know, just don't think about it and just commit and go. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you know, you got to give yourself that opportunity because if you never see your true potential, because I didn't see that I could sell houses, you know, I didn't know I could, you know, be a real estate agent or anything like that, you know, but now I took that leap of faith. And it's paid off in dividends. And I try to transition that to everyone else. I'm like, do what you want to do. It makes you happy. And it's just like that with music, playing drums, you know, learning from Guitar Hero, a video game. I've never thought I could keep a beat. I mean, I'm not a professional drummer, a technical drummer, but like it's made music a million times even more enjoyable than I've already loved it. It's a huge impact in my life. And my mom brought me up on music. You know, I remember when The Doors came on, she brought it in, and that's, you know, it's literally made me, you know, the person I am today. It's my mom and my dad and everybody, my brother, Andrew. So, I mean, like, family's everything. Yeah. You know, if you don't have that family support and friends, my friends, you know, support me for everything I do. And, you know, it's just, you have to have your friends and family there for you. If not, then it's, you have no one to go back to. Yeah. And I'm taking a leap of faith, opportunity somewhere else. You know, as much as I was comfortable at my one place, I'm ready for something new. I'm ready to expand my horizons as an individual in real estate, so I'm ready to go.
Nice. Yeah. So what is there to be said? So if someone's a jack of all trades, and I know you didn't coin yourself that.
Master of none, no.
Yeah, that was something that I put out there. Just having fun. What is there to be said about something with focus, right? Because someone's thinking like, all right, well, if you're doing X, Y, and Z, how do you stay focused in, doing multiple things at once?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, I have ADD, so I mean, focus is it's actually tough. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes, short-term memory is something I struggle with. It's not a bad thing, but sometimes I forget stuff if I don't write it down. I'm a very visual person.
Yeah.
So when I see something and I need to do something, I do it, and I don't think about anything else. Like when I got my degree, a 2-year degree literally takes someone 2 years. I did 17 classes in 6 months. I did it all online. I came here from work at 2 jobs, and I didn't think. I just kept going. Plus, financially, it was cheaper. It only cost me like $3,500 for a bachelor's degree. People are paying hundreds of thousands. So, I tell people, when you need to focus, like if you have to put music on, you got to put music on. If you have to, shut the door. Whatever you got to do to make yourself in that climate of focusing is adapting to the situation that you're in. Adapting is everything, and everything every day is changing. So, focus is a big part in real estate and my full-time job. If I'm not focused in my jobs, I could fail. And ministry is probably honestly the most focused out of all of them, because you have 200-300 people looking at you, and you're reading a book, and you don't want to slip up on any words, and you want to make sure that it's professionally done and everybody's happy. So focus is everything.
It's so true too, because if going back on the whole opportunity thing and recognizing opportunity when it presents itself, if you're a focused person, you'll see the opportunity like if it's highlighted off of a sheet of paper, because it's what you need to get to where you want to be, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're not focused and you don't know what you want, sometimes opportunity presents themselves. You don't even realize it's an actual opportunity.
I know.
You think it's just a hurdle. You just think it's just a wall. You just think it's something that's going to get in the way, or just busy work. But if you're focused, and it almost sounds like like a double negative there, but if you are focused, you're almost even more apt or able to take on more.
Yeah.
And when an opportunity does present itself, you're able to recognize it. And a true hustler, right? Going back to the whole hustle aspect of it, you'll figure a way of how to make it happen.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of excuses out there. There's a ton. I mean, we've heard them all.
Right? I get it every day.
Yeah, absolutely. even for being a realtor agent, right? And you need a client to sign a few paperwork, a few documents or whatever it is, and it'll take 3 days to do it. It's like, I thought you wanted this. You know what I mean?
I can't do that. I'm on them every second.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. It's like that versus a person who just gets it done. And there's a difference, and there's something to be said about the person who has literally what they set out for, right? And compared to the person who has no real direction or focus and complains that, this must be, God's will. I don't have anything.
Right.
Here I am, broke, poor, and smelly. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, that's not what this is about. It's like you have to put in the work
to get to it.
Yeah, it's like faith is one thing, but that's the reason why the second thing is hard work.
Literally, it's hard work.
Yes, exactly. It's there. It's like you can imagine, and and one of the biggest mistakes I think, which I don't even think it was a mistake, I think it was done purposely, is one of my favorite books was The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. But the issue with it was it didn't fully explain everything. And when you read it, you have to almost come to that understanding that this isn't a full explanation on how the law of attraction actually works. It's an explanation, almost an introductory on what it can do. Right. And so then when you start finding people who are just sitting around meditating all day about what they want in life and it doesn't come to them, like, dude, that's not the law of attraction.
Right.
You're doing one step of multiple things that need to be done. Hence the reason why the Blessed Lifestyle brand, and I not to over exaggerate or over plug here, and it sounds like I am, but it's factual. It's literally how I've gotten everything I've ever wanted in my life. And it's literally the recipe.
I'm with you. It happened to me too.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I mean, the three: faith, hard work, and gratitude is three things that we need to live by. Faith-wise, I mean, everybody's got their own religions, but you gotta have faith in some way or another in something. You can't just expect everything to be handed to you. You gotta have the hard work there. I mean, like I said, I wasn't raised from, a rich family or poor family. It was a working class. It's like anybody else. But, seeing how my parents worked, I'm like, I need that too. And then I started seeing, a lot of people I run into are like, oh man, you must be making a lot of money. You must be doing this. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay, but I'm working my buns off to get to where I need to be in life for the future too, and for investments and just my own life, you know. And then gratitude is, I appreciate everything I have. Everything I have in life was not given to me. The only thing I said was given to me was the car. I got everything else. Even like I said, that Papa John's pizza I got 2 nights ago was one of the best things I needed. Even though I hate that it was 11:30 at night and I was starving. I was so appreciative of it because I was hungry. But but we all have to really appreciate the little things, no matter what in life what brings at us. Because people always think big picture, but there's a lot of little things, just like a small business. The little businesses really help a community grow. And going to these bigger corporations and everything, it really, it hurts us, And I work for smaller firms, and that's fine. I literally had my first customer go, since the house didn't sell in 6 months, and it was an overpriced house I took, but I took it because it was my first listing. She goes, I'm going back to the bigger company. I felt more comfortable. I said, fine, you can do that, But in real estate, it's not the company. It's the person behind that that's helping you, you know. It's an interpersonal connection. You need to have that interpersonal connection with someone in real estate or any business, whether it's Miguel's business. If you don't have that interpersonal connection with your client, you're never going to succeed, ever. Absolutely. And, having that positive attitude, giving that off to people, puts them at ease, but also you need to know how to be calm, cool, collective in certain situations. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So any closing words? How can people reach you? What are your your social media handles?
All right. So let me get the scroll out. So no. The whatchamacallit. So my Instagram is there's 2 of them. So you have at George B from the C. I got that nickname in 7th grade, so it stuck with me and it matched my personality. And then you have George Berdomas Realtor on Instagram, and then Facebook is George Albert, just my normal name for my personal. And then business is George Berdomas Ordained Minister, and then also you have George Berdomas Realtor. So I mean, and anybody out there that know someone who needs help with something, you can always come to me or any questions. But being here makes me feel so cool, like so appreciative of getting an opportunity to tell a little bit of my story. Like I said, I'm not a celebrity or anything, but I love everybody that's around me and the support that I got from my family, friends, and everyone, and you guys here, especially today. It's really it's helped me grow as a person and make me realize how much I have accomplished, and definitely am appreciative for sure. So anybody out there, just keep hustling, and if you ever doubt yourself or anything like that, don't, keep pushing forward, and don't look back at the repercussions, and make sure you're happy. The number one thing is you have to be happy in life, and if you're not, definitely, get that turned around, because we only got one life, and, I'm trying to make the best of it, and I think everybody out there, you definitely should too, for sure.
Awesome. Well said, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We like to wrap things up with quotes, and the first one is by Chris Grosser. Opportunities don't happen, you create them. The second one is by Thomas Jefferson. I find that the harder I work, the more luck I seem to have. Jack of all trades. In this episode, we have special guest George Berdomas. We cover topics that range from multitasking, importance of focus, embracing and recognizing opportunity, raw hustle, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Chris Grosser and Thomas Jefferson. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.